Good afternoon and welcome to the Marketplace. My name is Winston Taki. Coming up in this bulletin, Bank of Ghana puts persons whose appointments were terminated and later recalled on extended probation as it insists everyone will be given a second chance.
Getting from the IMF one is their recommendations. Then we are also soliciting input from our.
Also coming up, ADB Bank marks 60th anniversary with a new tagline, Beyond Banking.
So it is about how we are impacting society with our banking services and how we are influencing the economic development of our beautiful country.
We have details of these plus showbiz all in the next 30 minutes. I am Winston Taki. Stay tuned after this. And now to our first business story. The Bank of Ghana has put all persons who were recently recalled after termination of their employment on an extended probation. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of the development at the central bank. John Guafe has the rest of the story.
Joy Business is learning that the move was influenced by Bank of Ghana's decision to offer what it described as second chance to all those individuals that had their employment terminated. Persons close to the central bank have told Joy Business that they see nothing wrong with the regulator's action. Now, this is because the Bank of Ghana has the authority to recall terminated staff when necessary. Sources say even though the Bank of Ghana had serious issues as to how some were recruited, because some of them had some skill set that the Bank of Ghana needs, they had to be brought back. Sources say all the affected persons were engaged yesterday and they are likely to start work from next week.
In other development, Agricultural Development Bank of Ghana, ADB, a cornerstone of agribusiness financing since 1965, has launched its 60th anniversary campaign unveiling a clean and forward-thinking new tagline, Beyond Banking. The following report entails details of that coverage.
Founded by an Act of Parliament in 1965 as the Agricultural Credit and Cooperative Bank, later renamed ADB in 1967, the institution was created to meet Ghana's agricultural banking needs. Over the decades, ADB has expanded beyond lending to support the full agricultural value chain, financing farming, processing, and trade. The bank has also revised its vision, aiming to rank among the top 3 banks in Ghana and to be globally admired for its people, processes, and performance. Managing Director of the bank, Edward Atu Sapong, stated that the bank will intensify its investment in artificial intelligence and technology to better serve its customers.
It's just about thinking about what we do as a bank, who we impact, who affects. Our services affect so many people. It affects the educational sector, construction sector, services sector, and it's not just coming in to do banking. It's not just deposit and withdrawals. We believe that our banking service goes beyond the traditional banking. And also banking is not just bricks and mortar, it goes beyond that. So it is about how we are impacting society with our banking services and how we are influencing the economic development of our beautiful country. That is how we see ourselves now.
Prophet Christopher Yawano of International Central Gospel Church Holy Ghost Temple, Adenta, advised the bank to uphold good ethical standards.
Faith, hope, and love. And he said, love is the greatest of all. I want to leave with you that have faith in God. Having faith in God helps you to walk through without the fear of the future.
A long-time customer of the bank, Samuel Ni Ashali, businessman who is into starch and pure production, praised ADB for its financial support.
Their services have been splendid in terms of support, financial capital, investment, perfect. There is no bank like ADB. Let me say today that ADB is the best bank in Ghana in terms of financial support to a small-scale industries.
Still staying on the banking sector by this time round, General Manager of Retail at Societe Generale Ghana, Kweku Chunibwa, has lauded the overwhelming response to the bank's ongoing deposit and drive promotion, describing it as a clear sign that the initiative is successfully promoting a savings culture among customers. Speaking at the second mini draw of the promotion, Mr. Chunibwa revealed that over 40 customers have already been rewarded with anticipation building to the ultimate prize, a brand new Toyota RAV4 Adventure. Societe Generale Ghana has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting a strong savings and investment culture among Ghanaians with the goal of boosting the country's total savings to GDP ratio. General Manager for Retail Banking, Kweku Chunibwa made this known during second draw of the Deposit and Drive promotion held in Accra.
In as much as we are mobilizing deposits, we are encouraging people to have that savings culture in them. We want people to come up and know that if you put your money aside, every day is not the same. You need to put something aside. The bank invests the money on your behalf. Now, the prices at stake are such that we believe that having smartphones, having television sets, stuff like that will appeal to the youth, and the car is splendid. There are 4 just right behind me. I am sure every youth out there would want to drive that car. It's lovely. So we are saying just bring that money there, keep it till September. So at this point, the draw itself is over, but those who have brought the money and are in the draw, we would expect that they keep their monies till September so they qualify to win this car. There is a trip to Singapore. There are other fantastic prizes which we believe will appeal to everybody. But the whole idea is not just the prizes, because we believe that if you put 500 cedis down today, you continue adding onto it. By the time you realize, that money would have become something that you have not dreamt of.
A representative of the National Lottery Authority, Beryl Adom, commended Societe Generale Ghana for prioritizing customer interest and adhering to regulatory standards.
We commend Societe Generale Ghana for ensuring regulatory compliance, for putting customers first, for rewarding loyalty, and for reinforcing the culture of saving and financial responsibility, especially in times like these when resilience and planning are more critical than ever. As the institution mandated to regulate games of chance and promotions of this nature, the NLA is here to guarantee the credibility and legitimacy of the draw process. We ensure that every participant has a fair and equal chance and that winners emerge based on a transparent process that reflects the highest ethical standards.
40 customers across the country were rewarded with prizes including television sets, microwaves, and blenders. Additionally, 5 winners of the Insure and Win promotion by Salam Alliance walked away with prizes such as a weekend stay at the Safari Valley Resort, free vehicle servicing for a year, and brand new car ties. Now let's go back to our earlier story that talks about the central bank recalling the termination of some of the employees' contract and putting them on a long-term probation, as well as the MPL recorded in the banking sector. Joining us on Zoom is Dr. Benjamin Amwa. He's a finance and senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Good afternoon, welcome, Doc. But what you saying, does this come to you as a surprise that the Bank of Ghana has recorded 97 staff who were laid off last week, now offering them an extended kind of probation? Kindly unmute, Doc.
Thank you very much. It is the right of the central bank at any point in time to reconsider its own decisions based on the HR policy and guidelines that the central bank operates with. So, yes, it may come as a surprise considering the letters that came out that these individuals could not meet the performance standard, and for that matter, their services were no longer needed after the probation period. Just for us to see what appears to be a U-turn in that decision, and this time around, it is to give them a second chance. So you may want to look at it as Bank of Ghana demonstrating some level of compassion and fairness, trying to give these individuals another chance. And also, it could be that Bank of Ghana want to address some of the assessment gaps that they may have identified that may have led to what may appear to have been an unfair assessment of these individuals. But of course, what it also portrays is that the central bank standard in terms of assessment is coming under scrutiny, because why didn't they identify this weakness ahead of time? And why was it not addressed right from the word go down to come out with the indication that their services are no longer needed, just for us to have this U-turn that we are seeing? Now, when these individuals get back again to work, how would the atmosphere be for those who were initially selected? They thought they were qualified. Of course, I'm not saying they have been denied, but then this group of individuals are also being given a second chance. Does it mean that we are lowering the standard for those who are getting the second chance? And what signal does it send within the Bank of Ghana work environment? I think BOG must find a way of handling some of this so that going forward, we don't have repetitions where some individuals may go through the probationary process fair and square, and it just happened that others will be given another second chance for them to come and try. Sometimes can create workplace tension, and you don't want that to happen, especially for a regulator like the Bank of Ghana. Reputational risk is at stake, and you must always try to protect the reputation of institutions like Bank of Ghana.
All right, Doc, I want to now get your thoughts on the NPL ratio in the banking sector, which has fallen from 25.7% to around 23.6%. What do you make
Come again, the line is not clear.
The NPL ratio, the non-performing loan ratio, the non-performing loan ratio dropping from 25.7% to 23.6% in 2025. What do you make of the fall, and how do you believe the central bank will go a long way to mitigate the rate subsequently?
If I heard you right, you said that there has been a decline in the fall of NPL rates.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So clearly, it's a good sign for the industry. NPL rate has been one major concern for every watcher of the banking space, and especially if you are a loan manager of the bank. Most especially for the central bank, this is very good. What it means is that at this level, at the aggregate level, loan quality is improving. But individual specific case will have to be investigated, i.e. bank on bank case, to know which banks are contributing to this decline in loan rate vis-a-vis those who may still be having challenge with loan management. Bank of Ghana will still have to do more. Bank of Ghana will still have to be stringent about the quality of loans that the banks are giving out and what is supporting the lending propositions that the banks are giving. And if there are some trainings or interventions, I guess BOG can bring it up to make sure that we can reduce the non-performing rate further into the future. Of course, we need to also think about the macro environment and the support that the institutions need vis-a-vis identification, because identification is very important when it comes to loan management, and also the macro economy must be supportive when it comes to lending and credit function of banks.
Dr. Benjamin Amor, we appreciate your time here on the Marketplace. Thank you so much for granting us that interview. Now we go back to more development stories. That is, the professional bodies are given the opportunity to make input into proposed value-added tax reforms by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, at a consultative meeting organized by the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance. Commission for Domestic Tax at the GRA, Edward Appenton Dramira, is urging members of the various business associations to review and suggest how the VAT can be reformed aside from proposals made by the IMF. Here is more.
This is the first series of consultative meetings by the Ghana Revenue Authority aimed at soliciting views for the upcoming value-added tax overhaul. According to the Commissioner of Domestic Tax Revenue Division of the GRA, Edward Dramira, the input will be assessed together with some proposals from the International Monetary Fund, and the final decision will be made.
Input that we are gathering, we'll get all of them to the Tax Revenue Policy Unit, which will be consolidated and considered when we are drafting the bill.
So how is it going to play with the proposal from the IMF as well? Are we going to see them being implemented hand to hand?
I think what we are getting from the IMF one is their recommendations. And then we are also soliciting input from our own people. We will blend them and see which of the proposals works well for the country. Because at the end of the day, it is we that is going to administer the taxes. So we'll look at which of this will be workable in our environment so that we'll be able to use it to generate the required revenue.
President of the Hoteliers Association, Edward Akanyamike, described the move as laudable since more business groups were given opportunity to contribute to the new VAT system.
This meeting has been very, very fruitful. Indeed, the proposals that were presented are things that we have spoken about for quite some time if you follow our media engagement. So we're very happy to see some of them in there. And I was also happy that I had the opportunity to even propose the effective VAT rate at 10%, and I hope that that will be instructive in the final document. And also the consolidation of the taxes as has been presented. So we are happy, and we hope that this reform will come like yesterday, because it's been something that we've spoken about for quite a long time. And so we are happy that we are getting there, but they should implement it as quickly as possible.
The GRA is also expected to meet other taxpayers groups to gather more views before September this year.
We have breaking news from the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana has cautioned to the public banks, dedicated electronic money issuers and enhanced payment service providers, EPSPs, not to transact business with 10 money transfer organizations operating in the remittance and foreign exchange markets without regulatory approval. Let's bring you an excerpt of this particular statement right now. So according to the Bank of Ghana, it has come to the attention of the bank that there are some money transfer organizations operating within the remittance and the forex markets without approval from the Bank of Ghana. And the Bank of Ghana specifically has named these 10 more money operators, MTOs, that is the money transfer organizations who are into the remittance space, and they are namely Ace Money Transfer. We have followed by Remit Union, Remit Home, Rose Remit, Monty Global, Naira Gram, that is Naira Gram, iTransfer, Huru Pay, Eversend, and Easy Send. So these 10 remittance app who have been used by people in the market, the central bank says they are not supposed, they are actually illegal because the central bank has not given them those back. And so according to Section 3.1 of the Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 723, that states that the person shall not engage in business of dealing in foreign exchange without a license issued under this act. Further on, Section 15.3 of the Foreign Exchange Act states each transfer of foreign exchange to or from Ghana shall be made through a person licensed to carry out the business of money transfers or any other authorized dealer. The public banks, dedicated electronic transfer issuers, and enhanced payment service providers are by this notice cautioned to desist from dealing with these institutions. So this is the breaking news from the Bank of Ghana, and that is the new development in the sector, banking sector. This is where we take a short break. We have more business update for you right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break. Today we put a spotlight on an exciting frontier where culture meets capital, the powerful synergy between sports and entertainment as a catalyst for Africa's economic transformation. How do we move from potential to performance? How can policymakers, investors, and creators position Africa within the global sports and entertainment ecosystem? To unpack all of this, we are joined by journalist and creative economy strategist Kenneet Arao to give us more insight on this development. Ken, it's good to see you. How's it going?
See you too. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm also doing great. I want to get from you, how has the synergy been between sports and entertainment, considering our African landscape, basically how countries position themselves?
So just using Ghana as a case study, you realize that the issue of sports is a very big sporting event. Some of these games, and it's also the same when it comes to music. You would realize that whenever there's a big name having a concert or a music show, you see that a lot of youth show up to enjoy that particular experience. The whole point of building the synergy is transferring the strength of both parties. I mean, the fact that all of these things have the use in common means that there is an opportunity there that needs to be capitalized on. So if you look at the fact that in Africa alone, about 70% of the population is under 30, which makes it the youngest continent on the globe. So it means that there's a lot of opportunity there if leveraged right to ensure that that synergy brings economic benefits to whichever country on the continent that is getting it right.
Awesome. I want to get from you also, how can countries in before we get to that, we realize that, as you made mention, sometimes, for instance, in Ghana, you get to the Bukum Arena and the kind of music and dance, the razzmatazz, the atmosphere, the chanting, and this gives some kind of a different feeling to the boxers, to the audience who are the spectators. And the last time I was there, I was in a different world on its own. Recently, when one was organized, the base, which I've forgotten the title. Actually, it was something amazing, I could put it that way. Now, based on that, how do you say countries in Africa can take advantage of this particular development?
So far, Ghana is doing its best. The example you cited was the exact one I was about to cite over some 2 weeks ago when the Bukum Boxing Arena where Anthony Joshua was around. There were other celebrities that came around. There were content creators. There were actors and people in from various economic backgrounds came to converge there, which basically shows you how cross-country, benefits can be derived from the combination when it comes to sports and entertainment. It doesn't just benefit both the ecosystem around just those two sectors, but even corporate Ghana gets to have a say when it comes to issues like that. And it's a way of also drawing the crowd and also selling your product. And so that is how the economic part also comes in, becomes a platform for advertisers, amongst others, to also get in on the potential benefits that are there as well. If you look at this slide that we're projecting here, you see that it has been projected by...
In terms of numbers, I can see the sports market, which is basically around $862.6 billion.
And that's what's expected by 2023.
Yeah.
2033. Right. And this is a very big margin when it comes to the sports market value. If you look at the entertainment space as well, by 2032, you are hoping that or expected that the value of the market is going to hit some 49, almost $50 billion by 2032. So these are very huge figures that are not being played with, and these are global numbers. So if you just narrow it down to each country and you put in place the right infrastructure and the incentives for this to happen, it's going to see some very huge economic benefits for whichever country it is.
Certainly, economic benefit is what we expect. Thank you so much, Kenneet Arao, for giving us this insight on this development. So all too soon, time is up, and thank you for watching today's edition of Marketplace. My name is Winston Taki. I'll enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good business day. Bye-bye.